Hey, Doug.
How we doing? Happy New Year,
Good.
guys.
I guess I'll start with the obvious. What do you think Trevor's status will be as the week goes by, and something on Jamal, Zay, and would Christian have a hoot of any chance at all of playing?
Um, Beginning with Trevor, um, he is progressing. He was in today getting his treatment, rehab, all that. We'll see. He's kind of day to day right now, so we'll see how he is on Wednesday. See, what his limitations or whatever it might be, but he is definitely improving. I would expect Zay to potentially get more practice time this week, and hopefully he's in a position by the end of the week to play in this game. So we'll see where he's at. Christian, I'll get more information. He's doing well. He's doing really well. And yes, I would say there's a potential to activate his window come Wednesday. So we'll see where he's at there. In a couple of days, which would be positive. If he can do something this week, we'll wait and see. And then Jamal, unfortunately, Jamal has the little fracture in his lower leg, and he's gonna be out. He'll be missed, the remainder of the season. So, unfortunate injury yesterday.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
You bet.
Hey, Coach, if we told you before the year that the season was going to come down to a game against Tennessee, just like it did last year, would you have seen it kind of coming down to this the final week?
We're just obviously fortunate and blessed to be in this position, at the end of the year. And it's always been our goal, as to be in the conversation and to play in these meaningful games, this late in the year. But we obviously could have done better in a few games here recently, and we wouldn't be in this situation. But you know what? We embrace it, and we own it, and looking forward to the opportunity Sunday.
And Antonio Johnson has been getting a little bit more play for you lately. Can you just talk about the rookie and what he's shown you to earn that bigger role in the defense?
Yeah, I mean he's showing up every week, in game. He's making plays. He shows that he's very capable of executing the defense and being in the right positions, and so just he's getting better each week. He's playing with more confidence, obviously, and he had a good solid game yesterday, and then capped it off with the with the takeaway there at the end of the game.
And last one for me, how much confidence can one win give to a team this time of year?
Oh, I think it can give a team a lot of confidence, and it's what we needed. We needed something to go right for us, and it did. And it was a good. It wasn't I would say a pretty win. I don't think there's any win or any loss is pretty or ugly. But the fact that we got the win and the way we did it, proud of the guys. And yeah, it can definitely spark your team, at this time.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
All right, we're gonna go with Mark and then D-Rock.
Yeah, following up on that, Doug, a little bit, is winning like that the way you guys had said, stop the turnovers and we'll be fine, turnovers and tackles? Does that maybe justify maybe what you're preaching in terms of, getting the exact result, maybe even better result than what you could have imagined?
Yeah, Mark, listen, football's not a hard game, not a complicated game. Sometimes we as coaches and players complicate things a little bit too much, but I think if you just focus on the basics, and that's just it. You don't turn the ball over. You don't have a lot of penalties or pre-snap penalties on offense, right? You make open field tackles. You're in the right position. You control the line of scrimmage, both sides. You run the ball effectively enough in the game, to control the game. I just think those are recipes for any football team, but obviously for ours and where we are, and you can win games that way, in this league. And there's games when, yeah, you're going to have to put the ball in the air 35 plus times, something like that to win, because there's teams that, can score every time they touch the football. But I think it's proof to our players that, we take care of our business, then yeah, you have a chance to win games.
And then real quick, Trevor, last Thursday, you indicated that you thought he was going to at least get on the field in a limited capacity. Did he have some sort of setback or just realized he couldn't throw yet?
No, he didn't have a setback. Just, he wasn't there as far as, throwing the football at the end of the week. So just kind of kept him inside. He did come out for some of the team stuff and was around for that, but just wanted to get extra time in the training room before he came out.
Hey, Doug, Josh said after the game last night that last week was by far the best week of preparation you guys have had all year. Do you agree with that? And how can you ensure that level kind of stays at that level going forward, when you're basically playing win or you're done?
Yeah, I thought it was one of our better weeks, last week. I put a lot of that too on the coaches, the individual coaches, right? Preparing their players for practice and getting them ready for, obviously for the game. But, the players have a lot of pride and they take that stuff to heart, and they understand they need to practice better, right? And eliminate some of the mistakes. And if you can do it in practice, then chances are you're going to eliminate the mistakes in game. So, it was a good week. And this week we got to have, just the same type of focus and intensity and be intentional with everything that we're doing.
And back to Christian real quick, when he initially went down, was this the best case scenario you could have hoped for, is that he could potentially be back after missing 4 weeks? Because I know the initial reports could be 6 to 8 weeks, depending on, the severity of the injury.
Yeah. It was definitely a bad injury for him, and obviously bad for our offense. But he's in a position right now to maybe help us this week, and we'll see where he's at. If we go ahead and open his window on Wednesday and get him out there and see what he can do. But yeah, it's you definitely want your best players on the field this time of year, and he's one of those players for us.
And one more real quick. I think you're the only guy that's, been a head coach for 2 tight ends that have caught 100 passes in a season. And I'm just wondering if you take some pride in that. I mean, obviously you have that reputation as a guy who likes to use the tight end, and clearly that's pretty good notch on the resume.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in an offense when I played that we utilized the tight ends quite a bit. So I've been around great tight ends, whether I was a player or now as a coach, and Zach Ertz, Evan Ingram, and obviously Dallas Goedert, in Philly now. Those are 3 guys that have been instrumental to the offenses, and Evan's a big part of our system, and we try to find ways to get him the ball every week. But it's a credit though to those guys for the type of teammates they are, leaders they are, how hard they work on and off the football field, and they set a good example for the rest of your team.
Thanks, Doug.
You bet.
All right, we're going to go to Mia and then John Shipley.
Hey, Doug, a bit of a surprise, I think, for some to hear Tyler Shatley announced as the starting left guard. I know obviously Walker and Ezra a little banged up. What went into that decision, and looking at the health of those guys, but also how Tyler played, how do you prepare heading into this final week of the regular season?
Well, I think you just said it right there. Walker and Ezra were a little banged up, and we needed to get them some rest. And if we could, and Tyler's done a great job and really done a nice job when he's in there. So, we didn't feel like there was any kind of let down or let off, whatever you may want to call it. We felt good. Both Walker and Ezra. Walker played at the end of the game when Cam, was removed from the game. But both those guys, it was good. It was good for us as a team. We got through Sunday. Now we can prepare this week, and we'll see moving forward, if it's Ezra back there, or if it's Walker back there, or if it's Tyler, and just really the health of the guys is the biggest concern at this time.
And just since you brought up Cam, number one, Have we heard anything from the league as far as any sort of disciplinary action? And then number two, to the on-field part of it, a lot has been made, of course, about how the team, I think it's now 7-1 when Cam does play. But I think what's interesting is so much of the run success was actually running off to the right. So if you could just speak to what Cam brought, but also maybe some of the other guys that stepped up in the run game.
Yeah, first thing, we have not heard anything yet from the league on Cam, and I'm assuming that he'll definitely hear something this week pretty quickly on that. But it was good to have Cam back. He brings a level of excitement, enthusiasm, physicality to the offensive line. I think too there was some rust with him, much like guys like Tyson. Getting back out there, there were some plays that just weren't Cam like type plays. But listen, he battled through it, and for the most part played a big part. And then as far as plays to the right, I think sometimes you go in and when you look at the run game too, you think, okay, who's better on the backside cutoff blocks as opposed to maybe the front side, and things of that nature go into your run game a little bit. And he does a nice job with his athleticism to cut people off on the backside. So it's just kind of the nature of how the run game went yesterday. And kind of week to week as to who is going to have kind of the hot hand, either the left side or the right side.
Awesome. Thank you.
You bet.
Hey, Doug, was yesterday with Travis breaking that long run late, was that kind of an example of what you've been talking about, sticking with the run game and eventually something good will come from it?
Yeah, and that was right there at the beginning of the third. I think it was our first drive in the third quarter. He had that big run for the touchdown. But, that was a little bit too of a halftime adjustment and what we had seen in the first half from Carolina defensively and how we could, maybe utilize some of the perimeter runs. And Travis is really good at that, and just, but again, that's just the thing. When you stick to the run game, like I said, it may not be pretty. I think we had 27 or 28 yards in the first half. It's not pretty. But then things begin to open up in the second half and you get those longer runs that really help and spark your offense. So it's something that, sometimes coaches, we get a little impatient, with the run game. And, but it was a great example of us, sticking with it yesterday.
Thanks, Doug.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna go to Ashley and then Brent.
Thanks. Hey, Coach, with guys like Cam, Devon Hamilton, Tyson, and now maybe Kirk, does it feel like some of the big puzzle pieces are coming together at the perfect time? And does that come with any challenges at all, if any?
I do think that things are beginning. The guys are getting healthy, which is good this time of year, especially with the opportunity that we have this weekend. And so, yeah, it's good to have. It's good to have these guys, back in the lineup, and it's I guess on the flip side too, is unfortunate that, Jamal's going to be missed, not only offensively, but also in the kicking game right there. And I think the challenge really is just getting guys like Tyson and if Christian has a chance to play, they've had 4 games of not playing. And it's just that rust and getting back into kind of the game shape and the speed of the game just a little bit. That's kind of the challenge. How are you going to, get them into your offense or defense and incorporate them into your game plan. But, but overall, yeah, it's a good time to get these guys healthy.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Doug, we see the physical side of the game so much, but you guys have mentioned so many times about Agnew and Kirk, how smart they are. How much do you miss guys like that from an IQ standpoint, what you guys are trying to do on the field, whether that's offense or defense, when you lose players like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough because, and it's nothing against the young player. They just haven't had the experience of playing as much at this level. And guys like Christian and Tyson, they've had a lot of games and they can see things and they can anticipate. And Jamal, as you mentioned, he can see things defensively and anticipate, a route or something of that nature. And it's where your quarterback is. It's the level of kind of the brain power of where your quarterback is a little bit with that and being on the same page with each other. And it's just the growing up and the growing pains of getting guys like Parker, more opportunity, right? Elijah Cooks, more opportunity. Tim Jones, more opportunities, in these football games. These are great opportunities for them, to continue to showcase and show us what they can do. But yeah, it's I think it is critical when guys like Christian, offensively are out there, because they can definitely be on the same page with your quarterback.
And a little fun one here, maybe better than Cam's helmet toss was your challenge flag toss. Do you work on that? You're pretty good at cornhole?
No, my sons are actually better than I am. But yeah, that thing kind of flipped out of my hand pretty good. I didn't really need to throw it quite that far, but I'm glad I did it, because we got 2 challenges right yesterday.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, we have time for one more. We're gonna go ahead and end with Adam.
Hey, Coach. I know you talked a little bit about Cam Robinson earlier. I'm curious what you thought about that ejection. I obviously you don't want your guys getting ejected, but in a way that you getting that fire, getting that energy. Is that something that can kind of be a boost?
Yeah, it can definitely be a boost. I mean, listen, players know too, they got to control their emotions out there. Things are getting, a little testy, and obviously the game was kind of one-sided at that point, and there was some pushing and shoving, and you just got to control your emotions. And obviously the injection came because he threw the helmet, and he threw the helmet about 20 yards, and you just can't do that, and he understands that, and he'll obviously, pay for it out of the pocketbook, I'm assuming. And, it won't happen again.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right. Thanks, guys.